Have you ever wondered why you feel so different from everyone else? Why your life has been marked by unusual struggles, strange dreams, and moments of divine awareness that others around you just don't understand? Chosen one, this message isn't a coincidence. It's a divine appointment. This moment has been written into your timeline long before you were born, and it's no accident that this message has found you now. It's time for you to know the truth about the 144,000 chosen ones, and more importantly, to find out whether you truly carry the rare sign that marks your soul as one of them. Let me ask you this. Do you often feel like you've been set apart, not just misunderstood, not just an outsider, but spiritually separated? Do you feel like your life has always been guided by something higher, even when you couldn't explain it? If you don't have this rare sign, I'll be honest with you. You are not one of the 144,000, and that's not a punishment. It's just spiritual truth. But if you do carry it, then you are one of the most important beings walking this planet right now, and the time for hiding who you are is over. This is not just another spiritual video. This is a mirror to your soul, a key to unlock your knowing. This is the kind of message that stays with you, shakes you, awakens you. The kind of message that reaches straight into your spirit and calls you out. Because you, dear chosen one, are not here to be average. You are not here to blend in. You are here to lead, to heal, to awaken, and to battle. You are here to fulfill a sacred contract, one that was written long before this life began. And today I'm going to show you the sign that proves it. The number 144,000 has echoed through time for a reason. These are not just symbolic digits. They are real souls, scattered all across the earth, placed in key locations, born into specific families, facing trials designed to break them. But instead, those trials built them. If you're part of the 144,000 chosen ones, you've already been through storms that would have destroyed most people. You've survived betrayals that broke your heart open wide. You've been hunted, misunderstood, and cast aside. Yet still, you rise. You're not watching this by chance. Spirit has aligned everything in your life to bring you to this revelation right here, right now. This video is for those who have been quietly wondering if there's more to them, who've questioned why they see signs others miss, why they feel energies others ignore, why they're drawn to the unseen and the sacred. I'm talking to you. Yes, you, the one with tired eyes and a warrior's heart. The one who's felt the weight of invisible battles. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, but you do need to remember who you are. Because the rise of the chosen is already happening. And this rare sign, this unmistakable spiritual mark, is the one thing that separates the called from the truly chosen. If you've been seeing the numbers, 144, 3033, 777, or 1111 over and over again, that's no glitch in the universe. It's a signal. If you felt an urgency building in your spirit, like something big is coming and your role in it matters, that's not anxiety. That's divine timing waking you up. If any part of you feels called to this message, I want you to go to the comments and type 144,000 or 777. Let the universe hear your agreement. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon, because the rise of the chosen is only just beginning. You'll want to be here for what comes next. And share this with someone else who might carry this calling. Someone who's been walking through life silently, spiritually awake, but unsure of what to do with it. Help them remember too. Because the chosen ones were never meant to walk alone. Now take a breath. Ground yourself. Because what you're about to hear could very well confirm what your spirit has whispered to you all along. Let's begin. Let's Who are the 144,000? A divine explanation. The number 144,000 isn't random, symbolic fluff. It's not just a biblical reference or a mystical code thrown around in religious circles. It is a spiritual designation, a divine identity, a cosmic assignment. The 144,000 chosen ones are real, living souls walking this earth right now. And if you're listening to this, it means there's a reason Spirit wants you to remember who they are, because you might be one of them. Let's get something clear from the start. The 144,000 are not defined by race, religion, nationality, or outer appearance. You won't recognize them by what they wear, how loud they speak, or the size of their following. You recognize them by their energy, by their presence, by the fire in their eyes and the truth in their words. The 144,000 carries something that can't be faked, a divine frequency, a spiritual blueprint coded into their very soul. You don't become one of the 144,000 by taking a course or reading a sacred book. You either were chosen before birth, or you weren't. In ancient spiritual texts, particularly the Book of Revelation, the 144,000 are described as sealed, protected, and marked for a divine mission during the end times. That mission isn't just about saving others, it's about awakening the world. These souls are not just believers, they are warriors. They are system breakers. They are light restorers. They have been placed on earth at this exact time in human history to carry out tasks that only they can fulfill. Their very existence is a response to spiritual corruption, global chaos, and the rising darkness in the world. Chosen ones are born, not made. They arrive into this life with a contract, one most don't remember until later in life. Their path is often marked by suffering early on. That suffering isn't a curse, it's a refinement. The 144,000 are tested because they have to carry more responsibility, more light, more resistance. They are the ones who walked through fire and emerged forged, not broken. Their lives are anything but normal because their spirits are anything but common. Some think the 144,000 are only literal Jews from the 12 tribes of Israel. But let me tell you something deeper. Those tribes are spiritual archetypes, not just bloodlines. The tribes represent the different sacred paths, roles, and spiritual functions needed in this age of transformation. Some are teachers, some are healers, some are guardians, some are prophets, but all are chosen, all are sealed with purpose. And here's something else. They don't all know each other. They're not all in churches. Many are outside of religion completely because their connection is directly to the divine, not through systems. You'll find them in silence, in the shadows, in the margins of society. You'll find them healing others quietly, speaking truth when it's unpopular, walking alone with power others can't define. The 144,000 often go unrecognized by the world, but they are fully known by heaven. They are sent to every continent, in every culture, planted like seeds, hidden in plain sight. Their presence alone begins to shift energy wherever they are. They awaken others just by being. But make no mistake, chosen one, their mission is not easy. These souls are watched, targeted, and tested by dark forces who know exactly who they are. That's why they face more attacks, more betrayal, more spiritual warfare than most people can imagine. Because the enemy always tries hardest to stop the ones with the most divine power. If you're one of the 144,000, you'll know it, not because someone told you, but because your soul won't let you forget. You'll feel the call constantly. It's the ache in your heart for a better world. It's the fire in your spirit when you see injustice. It's the loneliness that comes from not being able to explain your visions, your dreams, your energy. You are not delusional. You are not broken. You are sealed. You are marked. You are rising. And the rise of the chosen is not just a name, it's a prophecy unfolding. Right now, many of the 144,000 are being activated, pulled out of hiding, awakened by divine encounters, dreams, or signs. They're beginning to remember. They're beginning to speak. They're beginning to unite. And together, they form a spiritual army that no earthly power can manipulate. So if any part of this resonates with you, I invite you again. Type 104,000 in the comments. Let the algorithm of the universe feel your frequency. Let others who are searching know that they're not alone. You are one of the reasons this message exists. And now that you've heard the call, the time to ignore it is over. The world is changing, and the 144,000 are not coming. They are here. The rare sign you must carry. Not everyone is chosen, and among those who think they are, only a rare few carry the unmistakable sign that marks them as one of the 144,000. This sign is not something that shows up on your skin. It's not a birthmark or a family name. It's deeper, it's spiritual, it's etched into the core of your being, and it reveals itself in moments of silence, pain, awakening, and divine alignment. Without this sign, no matter how spiritual someone pretends to be, they are not one of the 144,000 chosen ones. But if you carry it, then your entire existence holds weight in this sacred battle for humanity's soul. So what is this rare sign? It is the unbearable burden of knowing. A knowing that you were never meant for this world's illusions. From a young age, you've carried a sense of being different, so different that it hurt. You've seen through lies others accepted as truth. You've felt the energy in rooms shift before a word was even spoken. You've cried for no reason, felt joy in sacred silence, and held ancient wisdom you didn't learn from any teacher. This knowing has isolated you, it has burdened you, and yet it has guided you with divine precision. That is the rare sign. It's not just intuition, it's divine memory. Chosen ones who carry the rare sign often remember fragments of past lives, not just dreams, but deep emotional echoes of ancient times, spiritual roles, even prophetic moments they once lived. This memory doesn't come to entertain, it comes to prepare. Because only those who remember their spiritual lineage can carry the vibration required to shift this world. You weren't taught this, you were born with it. Another mark of the rare sign is divine resistance. Have you noticed how the more you try to walk the path of truth, the more resistance you face? The more awake you become, the more isolation you experience. This is no accident. The 144,000 are not allowed to sleep through life like others. You are pushed, pressed, broken open again and again. Not because you're cursed, but because you're being tempered, molded, refined by fire. Only the rarest souls can endure this level of pressure and still shine brighter with every blow. The rare sign also reveals itself in your relationship with the world. You've never truly fit in, not with your family, not in school, not in traditional relationships. You may have tried to force yourself to be normal, but something inside always resisted. That's the divine within you refusing to be silenced. You were never meant to be part of the system. You were meant to expose it, challenge it, and eventually rise above it. Your rejection by the world was confirmation, not punishment. Another sacred symptom of the rare sign is your connection to suffering, not just your own, but others. You feel the pain of the world in your chest. You carry compassion so deep it aches. You've cried for strangers, wept for the earth, prayed for people who hated you. That kind of heart is not common. It's not weak. It's holy. It's what sets the 144,000 chosen ones apart from everyone else. They don't just want change, they embody it. Their soul bleeds for justice, for truth, for the awakening of others. And here's something else. If you carry the rare sign, then at least once in your life, you've heard the voice of spirit. Whether in a dream, a vision, a whisper, or a synchronicity too perfect to ignore, the divine has reached out to you directly. You were not hallucinating. You were not imagining things. You were being reminded, realigned, awakened. That was your activation. The moment the universe said, "Now it begins." People without this sign may feel inspired by spiritual ideas, but they won't live them. They might talk about light, but they can't hold it. They might mimic the energy, but it will never burn in their bones. You, on the other hand, cannot help but live truth, even when it costs you everything, even when it hurts, even when no one else understands. That is the rare sign. The one heaven watches for, the one darkness fears. So if any of this is resonating deep in your spirit, beyond your thoughts, in the core of who you are, then stop questioning your calling. You didn't come this far just to doubt yourself. You're not broken, you're branded. And the rare sign isn't just proof of your identity, it's a command to rise. Let your soul answer this message. Go to the comments and type, "I carry the rare sign," or 144,000 if you know in your spirit that this truth belongs to you. And if you've made it this far into the video, you already know this was meant for you. Now it's your turn to remember, activate, and take your place among the chosen ones. The mark of divine resistance. There's something they never tell you about being one of the 144,000 chosen ones. Something hidden beneath the surface of spiritual awakenings, angel numbers, and lightworker talk. It's the resistance, the pain, the constant pressure. See, if you truly carry the rare sign, then you also bear the mark of divine resistance. This mark isn't something you chose, it chose you. And it's been with you since birth, even before you had language to describe it. Chosen one, you've always known this world didn't welcome you the way it should have. You were misunderstood by your own bloodline, targeted by those who felt your energy before they even knew your name, and pushed to the edges of every system that tried to contain your light. This is no coincidence. You were born with power, and anything born with power will meet resistance. This mark doesn't show up on your body. It shows up in your experiences. It shows up in your betrayals, your heartbreaks, your isolation. While others around you seem to glide through life, blindly accepted and celebrated, you've often felt like you were walking uphill against a storm, even when you were doing everything right. That's because you were never meant to be comfortable here. You were meant to transform here. And transformation never comes without resistance. Think back to your childhood. Many chosen ones were scapegoated in their families. Not because they were flawed, but because they were different, because their light revealed the shadows of those around them, because their soul refused to conform to dysfunction. That's the mark. The divine doesn't mark you with ease. It marks you with trials that carve strength into your spirit. You don't just carry the rare sign, you earned it in every dark season you survived. You've probably asked, why me? Why did you lose so much, suffer so deeply, feel so alone? Let me give it to you straight. Because spirit doesn't waste divine weapons. You are not fragile. You are not disposable. You are a threat to darkness. And that's why it tried to break you before you realized who you were. Every attack, every delay, every heartbreak was engineered to keep you from waking up to your mission. But you're still here. That's proof of your mark. People who are not of the 144,000 don't understand the weight you carry. They don't hear what you hear. They don't feel what you feel. They think your struggles are exaggerations, your spiritual gifts are delusions. But deep down, you know what's real. The mark of divine resistance doesn't just bring you pain, it awakens your discernment. It sharpens your inner sight. It teaches you who's real and who's pretending. It teaches you how to walk with one eye in the spirit and one eye in the world. This resistance hasn't made you weaker. It has initiated you. The fire you went through was never to destroy you. It was to refine you, to separate you from the noise, to show you what cannot be taken. Your peace, your purpose, your divine authority. You're not just a survivor, you're a carrier of codes, a transmitter of truth, a chosen vessel sealed for these very times. You didn't choose the mark, but you're strong enough to carry it. That's why heaven chose you. You were not born to be accepted, you were born to be activated. And the very resistance you've been battling all your life is the sign you've been waiting for. Because the ones who carry the most resistance are often the ones carrying the most power. If this speaks to your soul, say it in the comments. I bear the mark, and say it proudly. Because while others live in illusion, you're waking up. And your awakening is a threat. That's why you were resisted. But now it's your time to rise, not in anger, not in fear, but in knowing who you are, knowing why you're here, and knowing that no resistance can stop what's already been written about you in the spirit. The role of the chosen ones in the end times. Chosen one, the world as you know it is shifting. The earth groans under the weight of corruption, confusion, and spiritual decay. Systems are breaking. Truth is being buried. Darkness no longer hides in shadows. It walks boldly in the open. But you already feel this, don't you? That's because your soul was sent here not just to survive this time, but to serve a divine role in it. The 144,000 chosen ones were not born into the end times by accident. They were born for this exact moment in human history. This is the hour of their rising. Your role is not ordinary. It's not passive. You are not here to sit on the sidelines, hoping someone else brings the light. You are the light. You are the messenger, the guardian, the awakener, and the watchman. You have been entrusted with sacred energy and spiritual insight that others cannot comprehend. Not because you are better than them, but because you were designed for a different mission. A mission that begins when others are asleep. A mission that continues when others give up. A mission that will stretch you, but also crown you. The 144,000 are the ones sent to anchor truth in a collapsing world, to restore balance where lies have ruled, to awaken souls that are still trapped in illusion. You are here to be a spiritual alarm clock in a time when most would rather keep dreaming. You carry words that cut through confusion. You carry energy that breaks spiritual chains. You carry vision that sees beyond the veil. And for this, you will not always be celebrated. You will often be rejected, even hated. But that's the cost of being a vessel of divine truth in a world that's addicted to lies. You are not just one voice in the crowd. You are a frequency. Your presence alone shifts atmospheres. Your very existence is a signal to the spirit realm that light is still active on earth. That's why you've been watched. That's why you've been resisted. The enemy knows your presence is a threat to his agenda. He knows that when a chosen one fully awakens, entire territories begin to shift, chains begin to break, souls begin to remember. That is why you were born now, not a century earlier, not decades from now, but in this prophetic window of divine transition. As the end times unfold, chaos will rise. And while the world panics, the chosen ones will move in purpose. You will not be guided by fear, but by revelation. You will not be lost in the noise because your spirit is tuned to a higher signal. You were trained through your trials to withstand this hour. Your endurance, your discernment, your spiritual authority, these are not accidents. They are tools. Tools for battle, tools for building, tools for delivering others from deception. And make no mistake, this is not just about helping others. This is about fulfilling your soul contract. You agreed to this before you came. You said yes to this mission. You chose to descend into this dense world, to cloak yourself in flesh and walk among those who forgot who they were. You came to remember, and then to help others remember. That is the essence of the chosen. Not just to awaken, but to awaken others. You don't need a pulpit. You don't need a robe. You don't need a million followers. All you need is alignment. When you are aligned with your soul's purpose, everything you touch becomes light. Your words become keys. Your actions become healing. Your very life becomes prophecy in motion. So if you feel that stirring in your spirit, if something deep within you recognizes this as your truth, then know this: your role is real. Your time is now. The end times are not a reason to fear. They are the reason you were born. You are part of the rise of the chosen, and nothing will stop what has already been ordained. Are you spiritually activated yet? Chosen one. Hearing the call is not the same as answering it. Many have heard whispers from the spirit realm, seen the signs, felt the pull, but they are still asleep with their eyes open. So let me ask you a question straight from the spirit. Are you spiritually activated yet? Because without activation, even if you carry the rare sign, you're not fully walking in your divine purpose. And in these end times, activation is no longer optional, it's essential. Spiritual activation is not a one-time event. It's not just the moment you realized you were different. That was the spark, yes, but activation is the fire that follows. It's when your inner knowing becomes action, when your spiritual sight turns into responsibility, when your connection with the divine shifts from a curiosity into a calling. It's the moment you stop asking if you're chosen and start moving like you are. So how do you know if you're spiritually activated? First, you'll notice that the things that once satisfied you no longer do. Shallow conversations, mindless entertainment, surface-level goals, they start to feel like distractions instead of desires. Your soul starts craving something real, something eternal. You feel pulled to align with truth, even when it costs you. That's the first symptom of activation, detachment from the illusion. Next comes the urgency. You begin to feel like time is moving faster, like your spirit is racing against the clock. You start to realize that you weren't just put here to survive. You were sent here to shift, and the longer you delay, the heavier the weight feels. The chosen ones who are activated feel this fire in their bones. It doesn't let them rest until they step fully into their calling. You also start to see with new eyes. You read between the lines. You feel what others cannot say. You sense energy more than words. You notice synchronicities constantly. Numbers like 144, 11, 333 show up everywhere, not to entertain you, but to awaken you. They are spiritual breadcrumbs reminding you that you are on the right path. If you're seeing these now, don't brush it off. Pay attention. Spirit is speaking. Another sign of activation is divine downloads. Out of nowhere, you'll receive insights, ideas, or even warnings that come with clarity you can't explain. These are not your imagination. They are spiritual instructions. When you begin acting on them without fear or delay, you are stepping into your full role as a chosen one. That's when the real shift happens. That's when doors open. That's when protection increases. That's when the spirit realm starts backing you in ways that defy logic. But don't confuse being busy with being activated. Many people are active in religion or spirituality but still asleep in their soul. True activation is when your inner light becomes louder than your fear, when your spirit moves before your mind catches up, when you are guided more by purpose than by comfort. That's what separates the awakened from the anointed. If you're realizing now that you've been hovering in the in-between, not quite asleep, but not fully activated, this is your moment. This message is your activation code. Spirit is knocking, and this time, you must answer. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now. If you know your activation is beginning or already underway, drop a comment and say, "I'm activated," or 104,000 to mark this moment. Let this be your agreement in the spirit. Because once you step into your full self, there's no going back. And truly, why would you want to? The rise of the chosen has no space for hesitation. Only revelation. Only purpose. Only truth. And it all begins with your activation. The cost of being chosen. Chosen one. There's a truth you must accept if you're going to walk fully in your purpose. The path of the 144,000 is not lined with comfort. It's not a path many would choose, even if they knew about it, because the cost of being chosen is high. It's not just about spiritual power, divine protection, or supernatural insight. It's also about sacrifice, about enduring what others could never carry. You didn't just wake up one day and become a chosen one. You were forged in fire, and that fire came with a price. Let's speak plainly. The cost begins with isolation. The deeper your connection with spirit grows, the more disconnected you become from the world. You'll notice that people you once loved fall away. Friends can't understand your frequency anymore. Family members grow distant. Relationships break down, not because you've changed in a bad way, but because your vibration no longer matches the room you once tolerated. You begin to see the world differently, and in turn the world begins to treat you differently. Then there's the emotional cost. Chosen ones often carry the weight of unhealed generations. You've inherited trauma that wasn't yours, pain that came down through bloodlines, and you're the one tasked with breaking it. That burden can feel unbearable. You may cry without knowing why. You may feel heavy even when everything around you seems fine. That's the cost of carrying ancestral codes. The cost of being the first in your lineage to awaken. Being chosen also comes with rejection. You'll speak truth and be called crazy. You'll radiate light and be accused of darkness. You'll try to help and be met with hate. But don't let that fool you. That's not a reflection of your failure. It's confirmation of your purpose. This world isn't designed to welcome the chosen. It's designed to test them. And every rejection has only refined your strength and clarified your mission. You've probably asked, why does it feel like I'm always under attack? That's another cost. The enemy doesn't waste time on souls who pose no threat. But the moment you start to remember who you are, the moment you begin to activate, the spiritual attacks intensify. Nightmares, confusion, sudden chaos. These are not coincidences. They are warfare. And yet you endure. That's what separates the chosen from the called. Yes, the cost is high, but what you carry is holy. What you're building is eternal. You were not called to blend in. You were called to shift the atmosphere. And every tear, every wound, every battle was training for what you were born to do. So don't run from the cost. Embrace it. Own it. Let it remind you that you're not ordinary. You're not random. You are marked. You are sealed. You are chosen. And nothing worth carrying ever came without a price. Why most people aren't ready for this truth. Chosen one of the hardest lessons you'll face on this journey is realizing that not everyone can handle the truth you carry. The truth about the 144,000. The truth about who you are. The truth about what's really happening in this world. It's not because people are evil, it's because they're unprepared, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Most are too entangled in the illusion to even recognize light when it stands in front of them. You may have tried to share your awakening with friends, family, maybe even strangers. You spoke from the heart, hoping they would see what you see, feel what you feel. But instead, they laughed, dismissed you, called you dramatic, delusional, or extreme. That's because this truth disrupts everything they've built their identity on. And when a soul isn't ready, truth feels like an attack. The 144,000 were designed to see through the veil, but others are still clinging to it. Their comfort depends on the very systems you were sent to dismantle. Their sense of safety is tied to the lies you were sent to expose. So when you speak, you trigger fear, you shake foundations, you awaken questions they're not prepared to answer. And that's why they resist not just your words, but your presence. Some people aren't ready to be unplugged from the matrix. They're addicted to the noise, the routine, the false sense of normal. And you showing up with your light threatens that illusion. You remind them of something they've been trying to forget, that the world is not what it seems, and they are more than what they've become. But don't let their rejection dim your light. Don't silence your truth just because it's inconvenient for others. You weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to wake people up. And when they're finally ready, your words will echo in their spirit like prophecy fulfilled. If you've ever been shamed for your truth, comment "still standing" or 144,000 to affirm your journey. Because truth may be rejected now, but one day it will be undeniable. And when that day comes, the chosen will already be in position. The prophetic warning. Chosen one, hear this clearly. There is a prophetic warning that must be spoken, and you need to take it seriously. In this age of spiritual awakening, many are claiming the light without ever carrying it. Many are speaking as if they are part of the 144,000 chosen ones, yet they do not bear the rare sign. They haven't paid the price. They haven't endured the fire. And spirit is not mocked. You cannot fake your way into divine assignment. There are those who mimic the language of the awakened. They copy the style, the tone, the energy, but what they lack is the authority, because true authority comes from alignment. You cannot claim to be one of the 144,000 if you have not walked through the wilderness. You cannot claim divine calling when you've never faced divine refinement. And this is where the warning comes in. Spiritual impersonation is dangerous, not just to others, but to your own soul. Many people are being led astray by influencers, false prophets, and ego-driven voices who speak of light but carry none. And if you're not discerning, you'll follow charisma instead of anointing. You'll follow noise instead of truth. But the chosen ones don't follow trends. They follow spirit. That's what keeps them aligned, even in a world full of deception. This warning isn't to instill fear. It's to bring clarity. Because as the rise of the chosen continues, the line between true and false will become clearer, and the consequences for pretending will become heavier. Spirit is separating the pure from the polluted. Those who are truly called will shine without trying. Those who aren't will fall when the testing comes. If you know in your soul you were chosen for this hour, stay grounded, stay humble, and stay obedient. And if you've been tempted to wear the title without walking the path, this is your moment to return to truth. The divine doesn't need actors, it needs warriors, it needs vessels, it needs the real 144,000. If this resonates with you, comment "awakened and real" or 144,000 below. Because the time of pretending is over, the chosen are rising, and only the true ones will stand. Final confirmation. You'll know it in your soul. Chosen one, by now, you don't need anyone else to tell you who you are. Because when you're truly one of the 144,000, you'll know it in your soul. It's not a question. It's not a debate. It's a deep inner recognition that rises from the core of your being and whispers, "I was sent here." You've carried the weight. You've seen the signs. You've lived the resistance. And despite all that, you're still here, watching, listening, awakening. That alone speaks volumes. You didn't come looking for this message just out of curiosity. You were guided here. Your spirit aligned the timing. And if this message has stirred something inside you, made you feel seen, even made you cry, then this is your confirmation. You don't need a prophet to validate you. The divine already did that the moment you were sealed. That's why your dreams are different. That's why your journey has been lonely. That's why your intuition has always led you away from the crowd. Because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to activate. So let this be your moment. Let this be the shift. You've heard the truth. Now own it, speak it, live it. If you're ready to accept who you truly are, type "I know who I am" or 144,000 in the comments. This is your spiritual agreement, because once you remember, there's no turning back. And truly, there's no reason to. You've always been chosen. Now it's time to walk like it. Closing charge. Rise of the chosen. Chosen one, now that the truth has reached you, there's no going back to sleep. The time for questioning is over. The time for hiding is done. This is your final charge, to rise. Rise fully. Rise boldly. Rise without apology, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs the voices of the 144,000. It needs you. You've walked through fire. You've carried the weight of silence, of spiritual isolation, of unseen warfare, and yet you didn't quit. You were shaped by storms that would have broken others. That wasn't punishment. That was preparation. You've been trained, refined, and awakened for such a time as this. This is your confirmation. Your mission isn't coming. It's already here. And the rise of the chosen isn't a prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. It's happening now. All across the earth, souls like yours are waking up, stepping forward, and accepting the call. One by one, we're forming a spiritual army, not of swords, but of light, wisdom, and divine authority. So let your life preach. Let your presence speak. Let your obedience be your offering. If you've felt the fire in this message, if you know this was meant for you, share it with another soul who's searching. And in the comments, seal your agreement. Type "rising now" or 144,000. You are not alone. We are many. We are rising. And nothing can stop what the divine has already set in motion. Rise of the chosen. It's your time.